Hello there, I'm Mrs. Groovy Groves and I'm here to help you with Lesson 6, Increasing and Decreasing. All right, we're going to start with the warm-up, and it says, here are the scores from 3 different sports teams from their last 2 games. As you can see, in the game 1, the football team scored 22. Then in game 2, it was 30. The basketball team scored 100 in the first game, second game 108. Baseball team in the first game scored 4 points, 12 points in the second game. So it says, what do you notice about the team scores and what do you wonder? All right, well, we can cross off what do you wonder. So God only knows. But I think a lot of people like in class will notice that the scores increased by a total of 8 points. So we can say every team increased by 8 points. Okay, and then number 2, it says, which team improved the most? Explain your reasoning. So because they increased by 8 points, did they all improve the same amount, or did one team do better than the other? The thing that I would do right here is I would find the K value, and K equals Y to X. Don't forget. So I would have 30 divided by 22, and that is 1.36, repeating on the 3 and the 6. 108 divided by 100 is equal to 1.08. And 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So the team that improved really the most was the baseball team, because that is a 300% increase. The other ones were 108, 136 approximately. So the baseball team improved the most. The baseball team improved the most because they tripled their score. All right. Activity 1, it says more shampoo and a discounted shirt. There are so many different ways that I could teach these problems, but I'm going to teach it using a specific method that's going to be really, really helpful for you in 8th grade and in high school, and that is being able to build an equation. So the way we're going to do this is the following. When we know that when we're talking about the OG, we're talking about X. And when we're talking about the new amount, the new number, we're going to refer to that as Y. Is translates into an equal sign, and of translates to multiply. So on number 1, it says a shampoo bottle says that now it contains 20% more. Originally, it came with 18.5 fluid ounces of shampoo. How much shampoo does the bottle come with now? Okay, so what we want to do is we want to annotate important information. So if we have 20% more means that it would be adding. Now it says originally 18.5 fluid ounces. So this 18.5 is the OG, which is our X value. On the question, it says how much shampoo does the bottle come with now? Okay, the fact that we're wanting to know what it is now, we're looking for the new amount, the new number, which is the Y value. So let's talk about the percentages, okay? For the OG, when we talk about the OG, we're always referring to the OG as 100%, okay? And then when we're referring to the new, don't forget it said 20% more. 20% more than what? Than 100%. So we have 100% plus 20%. That would take us to 120%. So I want to create a sentence that will help me get to the equation. my sentence would be the new amount is 120% of the OG. And we're going to break this down. We're going to kind of apply Google Translate to this. Okay? The new amount is always, remember that new is, we're going to use Y to represent Y. Is means equals. Now you always have to take this to a decimal. And the way you change it to a decimal is you divide this by 100 and you would get 1.2. Of means to multiply, and the OG, the variable for the OG is X. This is gold right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's the equation representing what's going on. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to do a plug and chug. This 18.5 we identified as the OG, which was our X value. So we're going to do Y equals 1.2 times 18.5. And if you multiply that out, you would get Y to equal 22.2 fluid ounces. Don't forget to put the units. And I'm going to box this right here. All right. On number 2, it says the price of a shirt is $18.50, but you have a coupon that lowers the price by 20%. What is the price of the shirt after using the coupon? All right, this $18.50 is our OG amount. It would be our X value. If they say lower by 20, then you know that means to subtract. What is the price of the shirt after using the coupon? So that's going to be the new price, which is our Y value. Okay, so let's figure out our percentages. The OG always represents 100%, and our new amount, the new price, it says it was lowered by 20%. So you need to take 100% minus 20%. That would be 80%. So this helps me get to the sentence. My sentence would be the new amount or the new price, whatever you want to say. The new amount is 80% of the OG. Okay? And piece by piece, we're going to dissect this into an equation. We use Y to represent the new amount. Equals, means equals. 80% as a decimal is 0.8. Of means to multiply. And the variable for the OG is X. So again, this is the magical equation right there. Y equals 0.8x. Now we're going to substitute this 18.50. It is the OG. It's our X value. So we're going to sub it in for X. And please don't think that we always sub it in for X. It just depends. Sometimes we might have to sub it in for Y. So we have 0.8 times 18.5. And when you run the math, you would get Y to equal $14.80. Alrighty, let me double check that real quick. I got 18.5 times 0.8. Yes. All right, and we're going to box this and we're going to move on. Okay, are you ready for more? Oh gosh, no. All right, number 1, activity 2. It says using tape diagrams, match each situation to a diagram. Be prepared to explain your reasoning. Okay, so what we're going to, number 1 says compared with last year's strawberry harvest, this year's strawberry harvest is a 25% increase. Okay, so this year it's a 25% increase. So that means an increase means to add. So let's talk about this. If we're talking about the OG, The percent for the OG is always 100%. And then for the new, it said it's a 25% increase. So it's an increase over the 100%. So 100% plus 25% is equal to 125%. Take a look at the diagram A and B for this year. Which one of those represents 125%? Okay, very good. It's this one on A. So we can put we're going to put 1 right here, and we're going to move on. All right, number 2, it says this year's blueberry harvest is 75% of last year's. Okay, it says it is 75% of last year's. Okay, so this one here, I would have the OG at 100%. And then this year, the new year, now it doesn't say a 75% increase or more or anything. It says it is 75%. So it's just 75% right there. And if you look at diagram A and B regarding this year, which one of these represents 75%? Well, it would be diagram B. So this one matches up right there. Okay, number 3, it says compared with last year, this year's peach harvest decreased 25%. Okay, a decrease means to subtract. So the OG would represent 100%. And the new, since it's a decrease, we would have 100% minus 25. And that would equal 75%. So which diagram shows 75% for this year between this one and this one? Okay, diagram B is correct because right here it says 25%. This would be 75%. So 3 matches up over here. And lastly, we have this year's plum harvest is 125% of last year's. Okay, so as you can see, we would have the OG being 100%, and the new amount this year, it says is 125, so we would just keep it at 125, and the diagram that represents that is A, ladies and gentlemen. So we would have 1 and 4 representing A and 2 and 3 representing B. Okay, number 2, it says draw a diagram to represent these situations. We're going to do something a little bit different because I want you guys to start getting used to writing the percentage to get to the sentence, to get to the equation. Because again, the equation is gold. So on A, it says the number of ducks living at the pond increased by 40%. Okay, if you have an increase, that means you're adding. So the OG would be represented by 100%. And the new, since it's an increase by 40, that means we would have to take 100% plus 40% to get 140%. So my sentence would be the new amount is 140% of the OG. And again, we're going to dissect this piece by piece to form the equation. The new amount, we use the variable y. Is means equals. 140% as a decimal would be 1.4. Of means to multiply, and the OG is represented by x. So here is my equation for this scenario. B, the number of mosquitoes decreased by 80%. Okay, so if it's a decrease, that means we're going to be subtracting. So the OG would be represented by 100%. And the new would be, it would have to be 100% minus 80%, which would equal 20%. So my sentence would be, the new amount is 20% of the OG. Okay, we gotta break it down. The new amount, we use the y to represent the new amount. Is means equals, 20% as a decimal is 0.2, and of the OG means times x. So this is the equation. I'm telling you, this is gold. This is going to make you wonderful mathematicians. You're going to definitely use this in 8th grade and in high school. So, are you ready for more? Oh, no. And that was it. That's the lesson. So, I hope I have helped you. This is Mrs. Groovy Grove signing out. Have a wonderful day.